This video will go through peer-reviewed sources, what they are, and where they can be found. Peer-reviewed sources are going to be important when citing information in an assignment, a lab report, or ultimately in the IA. So what is this? What does it mean to be peer-reviewed? So peer review is a process that journals use to ensure that the articles that they publish represent the best scholarship currently available. Once researchers are finished doing their experiment, they've written up their findings, they now want to release their findings to the larger public or the scientific community, they will send it out to a journal to publish their work. When that article is submitted to a peer-reviewed journal, the editors then will send out that article to other researchers within the same field to get their opinion on the quality of the scholarship, its relevance to the field, its appropriateness for the journal. So there will be other researchers assessing and critiquing the work that has been done, and will recommend whether changes or edits need to be made before the journal is accepted, or the article is accepted in the journal, or whether the article should not be published in the journal at all. And it's usually the editors that will make that decision. So how do I know if a journal is peer-reviewed or not? So you will need to look at the journal information to find out if the articles it publishes are peer-reviewed. If the article is from a printed journal, literally like paper, look at the publication information at the front of the journal. If the article is from an electronic journal, go to the journal home page and look for a link that tells you about this journal or notes for authors. Here, it should give you an indication if it is a peer-reviewed journal or not. And ultimately, one of the ways that you can be sure that you are getting peer-reviewed journals when you go looking for them is that oftentimes there will be a little checkbox that asks you whether just to show results for peer-reviewed journals. By checking that, you can be assured that the references that you get are peer-reviewed. So ultimately, research articles or journal articles can take two forms. So there can be a research article or a review article. And then distinguishing between the two and the types of information that you can get is going to be very important when citing information or trying to gather information. So we'll start with the research article. So what is a research article? So when scientists and other scholars want to make the results of their work public, they usually publish them in a scholarly journal. So usually research articles are going to be based on experiments that have been performed, and it is a write-up of those results from that experiment. So a research article will usually contain a summary or abstract that includes a description of the research that was done, so the type of experiments that were done. It will also include the results and then the significance or a discussion of those results and what those results mean. So research articles are very good sources of information, but they're not always going to give you the information that you want. Research articles are not really good places to find basic summaries. So like if you were just jumping into a field and you're looking to find some basic information, a research article is not going to give you that. And it's not a good place to find a general introduction to a topic either. What they are is the best way to access the most recent research that has been done and provide authoritative information about older research. Oftentimes, the research that is being done is based on previous articles, and so they will contain a lot of information about that previous research that has been done. So a good place to find sources of information. So the other type of scholarly article can take the form of a review article. So a review article is an attempt to sum up the current state of research on a particular topic, i.e. it gives you a review of that field. The writer researches for everything relevant to the topic and then sorts it all into a coherent view of that topic. So what review articles will tell you is it will tell you the main people working in the field, because it'll be those findings, their findings, that will be cited or be used to write this review article. It will tell you any major advances and discoveries within the field. It will also point out any significant gaps found in the research. And what gaps exist may also indicate the current debates that are happening within that field. And all of this can give you an idea of where that research might go next. So review articles are good places to get a basic idea about a topic. So if you're just starting to do research and you're trying to gain information and knowledge about a particular field, review articles are a great place to start. So after reading a review article, you should be able to talk about the topic once you have finished. And then review articles, because they will contain a bibliography, can give you a list of research articles that you can also use now to gain further insight into that field. So review articles can lead to those important research articles. How do I find review articles? How do I find scholarly articles? So databases and indexes will allow you to limit your search to include only review articles, which you should be able to do in your database searches. And some databases might use the term literature review, but it's really the same thing. So when you're looking for review articles, you can set up your search as usual and then limit it to review articles and then run your search. So within the scientific community, a common database is that of PubMed, which provides all kinds of articles. PubMed, you do have to pay to access a lot of these articles, so we don't use that here at White Oaks, but if you go on to university and you're doing scientific research, you will often use PubMed to get these scholarly articles. So how do I get started? Where do I find these peer-reviewed sources here at White Oaks? So first thing you have to do is go to the WASP website, click on the library tab, and then you'll want to click on e-resources, and then e-resources, and then click on the JSTOR link for your e-resources. JSTOR is an online database that WASP does subscribe to and provides access to a wealth of scholarly articles. So when you're now at the JSTOR website, you can register to save your downloads, or you can start searching as well. So in JSTOR, when you start searching, you'll get a very similar screen. And the nice thing with JSTOR is that you can search terms that are relevant to your topic. So when you click on the advanced search, you'll bring up these text boxes that will allow you to search keywords. So you can search in full text, you can search specific authors, and then you can include terms that you want to search with, or terms that you want to exclude. So when referencing in science, the big thing is that the referencing that we do, it will be done using the APA formatting. So both the reference list and the in-text citations. When referencing, remember that there are minimum requirements to be included for your source. You have to include the name of the author, the date of the publication, the title of the source, page numbers if it's a printed source, and date of access if it's an electronic source. And then, of course, you need to include the URL as well. If your references don't meet these minimum requirements, then you need a different source, or you should not be using that source in your references or as part of your write-up. In terms of APA formatting, how to do in-text citations and what APA referencing looks like. If you go ahead and Google OWL APA, the first result that comes up should be a link to the OWL Purdue Online Writing Lab. Here, this will take you through all the different formats and style guides for referencing in APA. And just keep in mind, it's only referencing that needs to be done in APA format. The report style does not need to be APA format. So what you'll need to do now is find an article for stem cells using JSTOR, and what would the APA referencing look like for this article? So that reference list and in-text citation, what would that look like? And in class, we will complete this reference worksheets together, and you will get time to complete this in class. So that ends this video on peer-reviewed sources and referencing.